Let me also, pick Ravi's brain on this as well. Ravi, Donald Trump has tweeted that, we have lost India to China. But who exactly has lost India to China? Who's to blame for that?
I think, as Sumit was saying, I think it's very clear the writing is on the wall, right? I think some of us, and Ambassador Pradeep is also based in US. We know very clearly that for years and decades, people have really worked on strengthening this relationship. And nowhere, I think, probably from a diplomatic perspective, foreign policy perspective, a geopolitics perspective, we've seen a great relationship which was in the making in February has completely gone on a reverse spiral, right? And this is totally for one person who needs to be blamed. Of course, it's President Trump, but I think, as Sumit was saying, it's Peter Navarro, it's the entire team which is misguiding. And of course, there are many different dimensions linked to this. And I've said this again in the with you, Vineet, that I think Operation Sindoor really changed the world, and that was really the most critical piece, because the world woke up to an India, a DRDO, which was producing one of the most best, systems that world had seen. And second, with the day you have J.D. Vance saying that we are nothing to do with this war, no comments, and then you decide to suddenly take a side. You did not take a side of Pakistan, you actually took a side of a terrorist state. And you also, that very single moment, decided that the implications and ramifications will have very strong impact on the ongoing FTA discussions. And as you know, that later His Excellency, Jaishankar ji, in that question that I asked him, and he said, Ravi, it's no longer an FTA, it's a BTA. And that was it, and that was a clear signal. And of course, now when you realize that these, and I remember tweeting sometime back, is this the starting of RICE, Russia, India, China? And I made a big question mark. And many people came back and said, I think this will never happen. And it's happened, it's happening. And I think one peace prize, which I would really award to him, as many people have said, is bringing these two countries together. So I would say that it's a opportunity in disguise. It's a great, and especially the way SEO really concluded. I think it's given the world media, the world business community that, here are these three big countries coming together. And of course, Silicon Valley is going to be very, very afraid. And that's why this meeting at the White House of the movers and shakers, they also know that if these three countries will come together, they will also move and shake the Silicon Valley as we know it. And today I'm in Bangalore, and we had multiple meetings in the last 3 days. I only see euphoria and excitement of people saying that we want to go on a Gear 5 and take the Indian startup system to the next level. The deep tech opportunity, the semicon conclusion in Delhi only tells you that the business community is very, very clear, very focused, that we will work together. And of course, people blame Trump, but we need to move on to make sure that India will be, as I said, with the whole 2047 initiative, that India will be one of the greatest economies we will see. But definitely this has a very strong impact on dollar, and maybe we'll touch upon that. But this is really a wake-up call for the world, that there's too much dollar dependency and of course monopoly to a certain extent. So he's not only destroyed a relationship, he's really created an earthquake into the financial system, the trading system, and in a very good way, I would say, to really look at world coming together against not a country, but really an ideology, which I think is very clearly that he's waking up that, oh my God, what have I done? And that's exactly what you're seeing right now. And of course, I also understand, whether it's confirmed or not, I understand that Prime Minister Modi is not going to the General Assembly. Will he be the only head of state who will actually not go to the General Assembly? I think there'll be many more. And I think at some point later this month, we'll be discussing that, is this a regular General Assembly, or many world leaders are giving a very clear signal that enough is enough. We cannot be bullied, we cannot be put in a corner, and you cannot jeopardize basic economies which are really wanting to come up. And I see the same thing. I was in Nairobi, I was in Dubai. Everybody is saying that, enough is enough. So I think this is where we're headed.
All right, fair enough. Valid points.